The Golden Boot Pod is proud to announce that merchandise is now available. We have everything from t-shirts and hoodies, to hats and beanies, to drinkware, to wearables and blankets. You can find it all under the merchandise tab at thegoldenboot.podbean.com or go directly to thegoldenboot.com. As always, thank you for supporting the Golden Boot Pod.
The views and opinions expressed in the Golden Boot podcast are those of the speaker and do not necessarily reflect the views or positions of the Golden Boot podcast as a whole. Yo, welcome back to another edition of the Golden Boot Podcast. It's your boy Pooh Bear. I got my man Aunt Petty Murphy in the building. I got my man Daniel D. Williams in the building. First off, good evening, everybody. How everybody doing this evening?
Good, man. Good.
What's good, bro? Y'all doing all right?
Good. Man, is it me or am I like kind of shiny?
Yeah, you definitely got some P. Diddy shiny suit, man, going on.
Glossing in here, bro.
Hey, go ahead, hit that. Take that. Fellas, there's been a lot going on. First off, let's start with the NFL. The start of preseason. It was last Thursday. We had our show going, the HBCU hour with Jamie Walker. Shout out to Jamie Walker for coming on with us. Jacksonville versus Oakland.
Vegas.
I'm sorry, Vegas. Thank you, because you know I was going. Jacksonville was in mid-season form, getting blown out, looking crazy.
Hey, the refs was in mid-season form. They called pass interference on the first play of the game. I mean, roughing the passer on the first play of the game.
Yeah, that's crazy. I don't know. Do y'all even get? I mean, football season. Excited for it to start. High school starting. Do y'all get hyped for preseason games? No. Or do you enjoy preseason games? Or
I mean, I get hyped because they just mean for the regular season close. I mean, that's I'm not excited to watch preseason, but you know, it is what it stands for, I guess.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I used to be one of those people who would like be super excited about watching preseason football, and then you only watch a quarter of it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So no, I'm not excited, man.
All right. First off, also I want to shout out to everybody in the chat. My man Spencer made it to the late show, LSU After Dark. What's up, Spencer? Big pressure. Big boot acting, applying pressure.
Yeah.
Okay. Big boot action. I'm sorry. We got Tigers Avenue said the walking billboard himself. You ain't happy. You shining and it's all white in there.
Facts.
Yeah. Daniel took communion earlier. And
he really in an insane asylum. He just ain't gonna tell y'all that now. That's really a padded wall behind.
That's exactly what it is. I snuck my laptop in
here. All right. Spencer with the hot take on Jacksonville. Hot take. I think old Doug will have them at 7 wins this year.
It's pretty bold.
Yeah,
they must be. What conference they in? They playing in.
They in the AFC South.
Nah, they gotta be. They got. If they gonna get 7 wins, they must be in like the AAC.
The Big 12.
Maybe. But I don't see Jacksonville. Not this year. By the way, our man Dilly Sanders is in the building. He will be joining us in the next 5 minutes or so. Tom, Dang, Daniel. Daniel went from all white to all black.
I was about to say he must went to hell real quick. Then.
Oh, what happened? Did you see me?
Yeah, your whole camera just went black. We're trying to figure out what's going on. Okay, Al, big Mr. Al Landry.
My guy. What's up, Al?
He said he likes it for preseason. He likes to see the young talent try to make the team. I do too. I do enjoy that aspect of it. Donald DK in the building. I wore my golden boot shirt yesterday through the airport, and people were kind of giving me dirty looks. I was like, yeah, I got a podcast.
Hey, back to what I was saying though. To me, one of the best things about the game last week was seeing the old New Orleans Breakers quarterback get some reps for Jacksonville.
That is true.
I think too, like whenever it comes to the preseason football, I do like what do you call it? Hey, rookie, welcome to the NFL stuff. And I do like watching all those shows. I mean, I would say that gets me excited more than anything.
Yeah,
is watching those shows.
Yeah. Ryan says he's here for Dilly. Pause.
Dilly.
So, but let me jump back to NFL. Tom Brady loses another offensive lineman. He is going to be down to patchwork offense. It's going to look like whenever New Orleans played Miami Dolphins, that's what his offensive line going to look like.
So is he down already too, or is he down just Ryan Jensen?
I think this is number 3. If I'm not mistaken.
Number 3, bro.
If you look at last year's team, he's down 3. Because they lost Alex Cappa to the Bengals. Jensen got hurt, and then Ali Marpet retired. Right. Or I might have got them backwards, but yeah, he lost one guard, one retired, and then his center just got hurt. So
right. Hey, I bet Anya Mata, he doing the Birdman hands right now, bro. Like for real.
Yeah. Hey, this guy here, he's secret Clemson fan. What's up, Daddy? Rev in the building says Jacksonville will surprise a lot of people. Trevor Lawrence is going to have a breakout season.
Pooh, how your daddy look younger than you?
I just
hold up. Do you want to go there, Daniel?
I'll do it. It's not. Let's stay on topic for now.
All right, yeah.
But my only question about Jacksonville is who is he going to throw the ball to?
They do have Christian Kirk, but that's it. They pay him a lot of money. Is he
they paid him like a number 1, but I don't know if he is a number 1.
That's a good question. He gonna throw it to Etienne out the backfield, but didn't Etienne tweak his foot again?
Dang.
I'm not sure.
And he tore his ACL last year, right?
He tore his ACL last year, but they were saying like I did see there was a tweet by a doctor, a podiatrist that showed like the way he runs. They said they can see why he has a lot of foot injuries. Yeah, DJ Sharkey is gone.
He has been balling up there in Detroit. Do not sleep on Detroit, man. They playing. They're gonna play hard if nothing else up there in Detroit. Dan Campbell got them boys believing in themselves.
Yes, sir. Paul's Hub. That's funny. Blake show. That might be on the shirt soon. That's probably the funniest comment I've seen in a minute. I think we got one more thing. I think we might save this topic though for the NFL. I might say this until after Dilly is after we talk to Dilly. But I do want I got a few more things I guess we can touch on before we get Dilly Sanders in here. Former LSU softball great Shamaya Sanchez, and I say great. She was one of my favorite softball players.
Mine too.
I like her brother. He's cool.
Yeah. A lot of people know her brother, D'Angelo Sanchez, who's always and still goes to LSU softball games
and football games. He like
always on TV.
He like the LSU super fan.
Yes.
And you know, but she announced that she's had a battle with lupus and has been receiving dialysis and stuff. We pray her a speedy recovery. Also, if you are willing to donate, go out and get tested. You may be able to save someone's life. So, again, wishing her a speedy recovery and that we can, she can be healed I guess it's the best thing. And then last thing we'll touch on before we get to Dilly, Brittany Griner. Her case is finally, I guess you can say the trial is finally in the mock trial. I'll say it. She was found guilty of drug possession and smuggling. She was sentenced to 9 years in prison. The one thing about this, we all know she's a political pawn. But there's also, I think there may be other elements to this. There was something that came out. She had 0.17 or 0.7 grams, if I'm not mistaken, of THC in the canisters. There was a young lady who had 7 grams of THC, and they gave her like a fine, or she was charged like 20,000 rubles.
Yeah, but I know the story you're talking about. I think the biggest thing in that story is the context of when it happened and what was going on as far as the world events and everything. Right. When those two cases happened. There's also a teacher who just got sentenced to 14 years in Russia for 14 grams. So I mean, we all know that it's like you said, there's more elements to the case than what they making it seem. But I just hope that this whole thing gets resolved soon. And she's back at home along with Mr. Whelan also.
Yes, and yes, they. I thought they got it. Was it possession? I thought they tried to get him for espionage.
No, they got him for possession also. But I think they got him a trafficking charge though. So I don't know if that's the difference or not. But
yeah, that's crazy. It's crazy. All right, well, ladies and gentlemen, we know who y'all came here to see. Let me introduce my man. Former staff writer for the Reveille, now currently I guess you could say a beat writer. I don't know all the terms for writers. I do hear he writes poetry for small kids to encourage them to be great in the world. He also writes jingles for people selling things on Craigslist. Our man, we got our man, Mr. Dilly Sanders, in the building. Welcome to the Golden Boot, Dilly. How are you?
Hello. I'm doing good. Can y'all hear me? Make sure everything sounds good.
Yeah.
Awesome. Real quick, first thing, I do want to send some prayers out to the Sanchez family. D'Angelo, last year, actually, very gracious with his time, helped me out with the school project, let me interview him. So I just want to give out prayers, good vibes to that family. But yeah, I'm doing great. It's good. That's good to be here. It's good that LSU football is back. I'm at camp. I don't write for the Reveille. I will still be covering LSU. I have not been able to share where yet, but it'll be in the next couple of days. I'm very, very excited. It's going to be pretty big, and I can't wait.
I didn't know if you were able to share. We were gonna say, can you reveal that on the show?
I'm waiting. I'm waiting for another domino to fall. But contracts have been signed. I'm good. I'm ready. But I'm at camp. So, gotcha. But yeah, in the next couple of days, y'all will know, and I'm very, very, very excited.
All right. Well, look, you know what, Dilly? I can't hold it. Dilly is now the sports writer for Playboy. Just so you know.
No. I got to call my agent real quick. You're breaking the news. My agent's my mom. I'm sorry. School.
Wait, PausHub.com.
PausHub.com. I'd buy a PausHub shirt, honestly.
Hey, I'm telling you, I got to look. It was said on Blake's show, on AYS. Somebody said PausHub, and it was hilarious. I'm definitely gonna put that on the shirt and send that person a personal shirt because that was hilarious. But let's get to it though. LSU players report to camp. Reported. Camp begins. We've had 2 practices. Was it? I know they had.
Well, today was practice number 5. We've only seen 2 practices and part of 2 practices.
Gotcha. Go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say yeah. So we saw 30 minutes. We saw 30 minutes of the first practice. 30 minutes today. Tomorrow we talk to the players, and then on Thursday we get a full practice inside Tiger Stadium. Media
Nice.
gets to watch the whole thing, and that hasn't happened. I was talking to some of the older heads at practice that I don't think it's happened since like 1988 that the media sat in on a full camp for LSU, a full fall camp at least.
Awesome. And Dilly, will you actually be there on Thursday?
Yep.
To watch the entire practice?
Yeah, I can't wait. I cannot wait.
Hey, let me say this, Dilly. I know this is off the whim, but I mean, hey, we do a podcast on Thursday, so
I did quit. I was able to quit my day job. I have more time. So
yeah. So let me answer this in the chat. No pressure. No, she did not pass away. She's just in need of a kidney transplant and battling lupus. But let's get back to camp. From what you've seen thus far, Dilly, what is it? Well, first of all, let me ask you this because I jumped straight into LSU football. Your origin story. How'd you even get started writing?
So this is the story I write on all my resumes and cover letters because I can't believe it's true. I grew up, born and raised, Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Technically born in Denham Springs, but we don't count that. But yeah, so I was born and raised Baton Rouge, Louisiana. So grew up all my life LSU fan. But my grandmother was a newspaper writer, and she would always tell me the stories of before I could write, before I could talk. Well, really talk. I would be in diapers, writing out, scribbling out lines, and reading her like sports stories.
Wow!
Just off the top of my head before I really even knew what was going on. And like my grandpa would read me the high school games, and I'd type in on my phone notes a post game report about what happened while we were there. So it's literally just been my entire life. That's what I've wanted to do.
Wow.
I say this. I first got introduced to Dilly a few years ago when this man by himself, he did a big board of everyone in the NFL draft, like 350 something players. I don't know how he had the time to rank them, watch all that film and everything, but when I did my little mock drafts, I used his big board, So he definitely dedicated. I give you that, brother.
I love college football. I love the NFL draft. So yeah, I got into writing. Y'all know Ross Jackson, obviously. Yeah, love Ross. Me and him met on Madden, actually.
Wow.
In a Madden league, and he was writing for what was it? All Things Considered. Yes, All Things Considered at the time. And I was like, hey, I want to do this. I'm in school, like I'm a freshman. Can I write for y'all? And so Ross gave me my first job through Madden.
Wow.
And then another person in our Madden league started a website, and I wrote about the draft for him. And then so I've spent like 2 years hosting a draft podcast and just fully in on the draft. So I love the draft, and yeah, I did about 2 years where I watched over 300 players, and
crazy, man.
It's not easy. It's not easy.
Oh no, I wouldn't even be able to do 100 players.
Well, Dilly, let me ask you this. I know we're going to start talking about camp, but what players are you excited about when it comes to the upcoming draft next year?
There's obviously a couple of LSU players, but number one player I cannot wait to watch is Bijan Robinson out of Texas.
Okay.
Just such a fun football player, and it's kind of antithetical. He's kind of antithetical to what I like. I love like a pass blocking running back. I love blocking. I love watching tight end. I love watching tight ends, wide receivers that block, offensive line that block. But Bijan Robinson is not that good of a blocker, but he is really good at everything else. And Devin Leary out of North Carolina State is like the quarterback that I can't wait to see. I'm big on him.
He slept on for real.
Yeah. I'm doing the student media poll. We release weekly polls, like top 25 polls on men's basketball, women's college basketball, and the first football one's coming out. Well, I think in a couple of days. And I filled out my bracket, and I think NC State is number 11 for me in the first bracket. I'm kind of high on them, even with the people that they lost.
Let me ask you this. All right, so last year for the Reveille, you were covering women's basketball. All right, I need you to give me a story about Kim Mulkey that nobody has heard you tell before.
Ooh.
You had to put the glasses on for that one, huh?
I'm struggling. Okay, so quick aside. I've been wearing glasses for like 2 months. I didn't know my entire life I was blind. I just went through my whole life thinking, I can see. I'm good.
And the driver's license test, that's what it was. You were new.
No, it wasn't. I was at the LSU. I was at LSU Pro Day, and I asked Mike Triplett. I was like, "Hey, what does that sign across this thing say?" He was like, "You can't read that." And I said, "No." And then I kept trying out other things, and people were like, "You should probably go get your eyes checked." And I did, and my doctor was like, "You don't have good eyesight," so I had to go get glasses. So I'm still getting used to them, and I noticed they have a big glare. So I was going to take them off, but I kind of want to see
whatever you're comfortable with. That actually, so I just want to tell you that's not a glare. Daniel is in heaven right now, and so everything is really bright.
Yeah, I saw he ascended at some point while I was in here.
I forget my dad's in here. Dad, you missed the rapture too. Daniel obviously beat us all to it.
So a Kim Mulkey story. So after one of the games, it was whenever Alexis Morris got hurt. Alexis Morris got hurt, and everybody was really nervous. We had gotten done with the press conference and everything, and I had seen Mulkey walking out, and I was like, "Do y'all think it's bad?" She's like, "It better not be." This is less of a Mulkey story, but then I walked out of the doors and Alexis Morris was getting in the car, like packing up her car and driving herself home. I was like, so it can't be that bad. And she said, "I'm playing no matter what." And Mulkey already told me I have to. And so we just talked a little bit and then I went on my way. But yeah, that team's awesome. All of the players were all super, super nice the entire time. Mulkey was super nice. She kept singing to me at press conferences. I enjoyed it very much.
So how good are they going to be this year with Flores and Angel Reese coming in?
Well, it's hard to say like, don't expect very much because that's exactly what we did all leading up all into last season. And they turned out, they were a 3 seed. And then, so it's hard to do that again and be like, oh, don't get your hopes up. But really, I guess it would have to be, don't get your hopes up. They're not going to, I don't think they're going to be a 3 seed again. Never doubt Mulkey, but they're going to be fun to watch. Flage is one of the most fun basketball players just to watch that I've seen in a long time, men or women's. Like she just gets buckets. So it's not going to be boring to watch. I just don't know how good they're going to be. Like I'm a Rockets fan for the NBA. Rockets aren't good. They're fun to watch though.
They're definitely a league pass team though for sure.
Yeah. They were selling their tickets for $15 last season.
Wow. So
that was Oklahoma City, bro. That was y'all.
Yeah, both of them.
so Dilly, with Flage, Kim might not sing to you. Flage spit a freestyle for you though.
Yeah, she follows me on Twitter. I'm gonna put in the DMs and just try and get like my own theme song or something. But I think she already has a song with Boosie, so I think I'm already past that. I don't have that. I don't have Boosie clout.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, you're gonna have to pay a good little penny for that.
No, pay you dilly, man. You dilly.
I'll tell it.
You verified on Twitter, dog. You got the clout.
Yeah.
The verification badge has brought so much joy into my life, but also I've been made fun of so much by my friends, and like not like made fun of, but teased like, oh, it's the blue check, or whenever my friends like we went to go bowling the other day and I was waiting for them at the bowling alley and they walked up to me like, is that the Dilly Sanders? It's just stuff like that. And also people will be like, it's easy ammunition because I have 3,300 followers. They'll be like, why are you verified? And I'll be like, I don't know. Truthfully, I applied as a joke and I got it. And I felt bad because I had friends that really, really wanted it and deserved it that didn't have it at that point. But it's been fun. I mean, John Cena followed me. That's cool.
Ah, that's dope. Wow. That's dope. Yeah.
So, I mean.
But how did you see him follow you, though?
So whenever
you did.
That was good.
That's a good joke. That's a good joke. That was a good joke. What I didn't realize is whenever you're verified, you have a tab that allows you to only interact with other verified people. So you can just filter out everybody else and only see if verified people reply to you, like your tweets, or follow you.
That is so weird.
And it really is. I don't use it. I don't use it.
That's very elitist, though. It is elitist.
I would never do something like, hey, how do you get that?
Hey, the whole time I'm thinking, I gotta hit Dina's inbox.
Take that. All right, but let's get back on track, Dilly. Camp.
Yes.
So far, we've kind of seen the videos, we've heard the stories of who's running out with first team, who's running out second team, who's not running out at all, and not even just quarterbacks, other positions, running back as well. Is there something that you've seen so far in camp that's kind of surprised you?
Surprised me. Well, first off, just visually, Harold Perkins. Yeah. I just didn't expect Harold Perkins is out there moving like a safety, but looking like an edge defender. Like, he's huge. Wow. He looks like an SEC linebacker. Like, he could start day one. Like, just visually and how he moves. He is as advertised already. All of the offensive linemen look big and look ready to play. Like, last year, I just don't think that these people are going to be getting pushed around by Mizzou. Is the main thing. That's all that really I think matters. Just seeing how more prepared players look from a strength and conditioning and like health standpoint. Everyone makes fun of Miles Brennan coming into camp looking like he's 35 years old, but like he looks like a healthy quarterback now. Jaden Daniels, he looks over 200 pounds. Brian Thomas doesn't look as much of a twig as he used to. Like, he's over 200 pounds now. Like, everybody bulked up, and it's just good to see. Like, I didn't expect to see as much progress from spring to fall as we did.
So you're saying that Jacob Flint is the MVP of the offseason?
He really might be. I'm really, really impressed with how well everybody's conditioned. I did see Harold Perkins get a little cramped up today, but it was so hot. I do not blame him. I really don't blame him.
Yeah. Well, let me ask you the question everyone probably cares about, and everyone is honestly probably tired about. How the quarterback's looking?
All right. So I have always believed personally that this is a two-man race.
Mm-hmm.
And it's been backed up by camp. I think it's either going to be Nussmeier or Jaden Daniels.
Okay.
Let me ask this.
Yeah.
Did those two men change as far as what? Because I, like you said, I always thought it was a two-man race. But initially, it wasn't Nussmeier. I mean, it wasn't Nussmeier. It was Miles Brennan and Jaden. So did you originally think that as well, or were you always kind of I think it's Nuss?
I have a little bit of personal bias. I'll admit that. I have been a huge fan of Jaden Daniels since he came out of high school. I've watched every snap he took at Arizona State. He's just been a player I've been a fan of. So I was really excited whenever he was coming to Baton Rouge, because I know that he is more than his stat lines. Like, the players and the coaches at Arizona State failed him a lot. And I know he's not perfect, but I believe with how much effort they're putting in to Jaden Daniels, fixing his footwork, stuff like that, I feel like it's hard to believe that they don't think that he should be starting.
Yeah.
But I say that to say Nussmeier everyone's talking about him out of camp, and for a reason. He looks like he's the best quarterback right now. It's just most consistent in everything. And every drill today, from what I saw, it went. And now he did say somebody has to start, somebody has to be the first quarterback. But every drill, no matter what drill it was, the order was Nussmeier, Jaden, Brennan, Walker Howard.
Wow.
Now Walker Howard visually, it's clear to tell he's not in this race. He's going to redshirt. I'm not saying he looks bad, but he looks a step behind. He looks like he's a true freshman.
Right.
Like he looks like how he should look right now.
Right.
Today we saw a lot of like rollouts in zone looks from the drills, and Jaden and Nuss looked like the most smooth and looked like they had the best ball placement out of everybody.
Yeah.
How concerned are you about the running back room, especially now with Trey Bradford gone?
Yeah.
Well, that whole situation's weird because he was all here through spring, and then we just show up and he's apparently been kicked out. So that whole thing's weird. His whole college journey has been weird. I'm not too worried. Oh, this is perfect. I need y'all to help me out with a nickname. Again, also ever since he came out of high school, Ncaa, I've been pushing for people to call him Novocaine because he's putting the defenders to sleep. Like, I love it. I just thought that was. I've always thought that was perfect. But I again think his addition helps out a ton. Obviously, you want more than 3 originally scholarship running backs in your room. Josh Williams is scholarship, but he was a walk-on. And not saying like, yeah, he's good. He's good. But you need a lot out of Armani Goodwin and Ncaa. Now, John Emery, I think everybody knows, is going to be running back 1. Today, whenever we got there, they were doing passes to the running backs, and the coaches were not happy with the running back. With the running backs, they were yelling at. I don't know. None of us could tell who the coach was. I don't know. Like we just didn't recognize him off first look. But he was yelling at Armani Goodwin a lot, and they looked real frustrated in that aspect. But everything else, they looked pretty good. Ncaa, I think, if he can add a little bit more pass catching and fluidity to his game, he could be real dangerous.
Yeah.
Real
dangerous. That's my question about Ncaa, because I watched some film on him while he was at Penn State, and I do question sometimes his explosiveness. Coming out of camp this year, I mean, how does he look to you as far as you just said fluidity? I mean, does he look explosive?
He looks better than I expected.
Yeah.
And they did mention that they're working heavily with him on that. Because everyone knows he can run and he can run through people. He's big. I think that's really what they're focusing on with him, and he does look pretty good. Look to have pretty good burst. We haven't seen anything that like really puts it in like a showcase, but I assume we'll see some 7-on-7s at least on Thursday and see a little bit more out of that. That's gonna be fun.
Dilly, somebody's got a nickname for you. Call him Sugar Cane, I guess, because he's sweet with his feet.
Hey, I like that too. That's perfect.
Did you attend practices last year?
Not last year. No. I went in spring. Spring was my first time going to practices. I only attended one game. It was the Arkansas game, so we don't really talk about that. Yeah. But I will say I was down on the field for overtime, and that was a really cool feeling.
So I was just gonna kind of ask you about the tone and kind of how Brian Kelly is kind of orchestrating or handling practice. Like what's your first thoughts when you see him, commanding the practice?
So I obviously I don't have anything to compare it to. Correct. From a football practice. The only person I've seen in practice was Kim Mulkey, and you can imagine her practices are crazy and awesome. But everything I've heard from people who were covering last year, that it's night and day in terms of preparation, organization, how he's talking to everybody, how the teams and practices are set up to like get the most out of everything. That's what I've heard from other people is that, and I did notice it, even not having anything to base it off of, how streamlined everything is, and how neat and how organized everything looks. Like everyone knows what their job is, and they're doing that job right now, and they are just doing this and then getting ready to the next thing. And nobody's confused about anything. Like it's smooth.
Right.
Okay. Go ahead, Daniel. I'm sorry.
Well, I would say when you're talking about smooth, I mean, the smoothest LSU has looked to me, honestly, in the last 20 years is that first 2019 game. Just if they can come out and look that smooth, I'll be pretty happy, man.
That's a pretty lofty expectation there, bro.
It is. But I mean, it was like clockwork. It was money.
It was.
Yeah. I will say again, I mentioned earlier that I'm doing the student media top 25 thing. LSU's not my top 25 to start.
You said they're not?
Okay.
They're not my top 25 to start. And again, they came out today, USA Today. They weren't in the coaches poll for the first time since 2000. I think they weren't in the preseason top 25. There's a lot to prove, in my opinion, and they have the players. They have the talent. They have the coaching, but I kind of need to see it all in action first. And maybe it's. What did you say?
Go ahead. What's your biggest concern?
It's really just seeing it. Like, are they ready? Are they prepared? Now it looks like they're going to be, but I mean, I'm sure nobody expected them to be as unprepared as they were the last 2 years. I want to see them put it into practice. I mean, I want to see them work and have everything actually happen at the real stage, because as other people who are smarter than me have mentioned, their players are going to want to go back to their old habits at some point. Like, it's just going to be more comfortable for them. Like, I want to see people overcome that, and I want to see LSU look like LSU. And if we're talking like concerns, I'd say probably cornerback depth, because I think today there were two scholarship corners not out there. It was Jordan Tolles and somebody else. It was Jordan Tolles, and I think Jarek Bernard-Converse was not out here again. Like, that can't keep happening. Like, they don't have the cornerbacks to allow people to be getting hurt. Cornerback depth is a real issue.
But didn't Kentucky just have a DB that just went into the portal also? That's from Baton Rouge, if I'm not mistaken.
I don't know if he's from.
I don't know. Can he enter the portal right now?
Yeah, he's in the portal. He just declared
there. Yeah, there was one.
You talking about Williams?
Yeah, Joel Williams, is that his name?
Yeah, Joel Williams. Yeah,
Joel Williams. Yeah, and so hey, that could be a nice little pickup.
Hey,
I highly doubt that happens, brother.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's see. Yeah. I mean, yeah, he's from Madison Prep. I mean, it could happen. Who knows?
All right.
I don't know anything about that yet.
All right. So Dylan, let me ask you this, because we talked about Brian Kelly with the practice and setting the tone. What about with the media, as far as like press conferences and stuff? Do you feel or because I'm sure were you able to cover like post game press conferences with the previous staff and stuff like that, or?
Yeah, like I mentioned, I did. So I did the game against Arkansas, and I did the Texas Bowl. Okay. So I've been through both of those. I was shocked and will continue to be shocked at how open Brian Kelly is with the media. Like, I don't know if y'all remember in the spring, he like gave us a whole spiel about how he and Keyshawn Butte have not gelled yet, and they're not close or anything. Like, he didn't have to tell us that. Like, he could have just said, "Oh yeah, we're working on it." Like, they tell us what they want out of the players. They tell us what they're looking for. They tell us where people are. They tell us what's happening with people. Like, we're in the know. They're not. Doesn't seem to be hiding a lot, which is nice.
I think BK also uses that Nick Saban deal. You know how Nick Saban always talks to his players through the media. I think BK does the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
He says a lot to y'all in press conferences, about the team. But I kind of noticed the difference between him and maybe the past regime is he doesn't really say a lot when it comes to recruiting. Like the past staff would tell us, "Oh, we're feeling real good about getting a commitment from an offensive lineman," and he basically keep us up to date with everything that they had going on. Do you kind of get that same vibe that BK is not as forthcoming about recruiting?
I have not heard anybody ask about recruiting, really. So maybe that's it. At least off the top of my head from the press conferences I've been to. that really might be it. So maybe the media needs to do a better job about talking about recruiting. But yeah, I don't, nothing that I remember that has been set up to be talking about it.
Yeah, I know with recruiting, it's only so much he can say because of possible violations. But let's shift there. Let's shift to recruiting real quick. Shelton Sampson Jr. Stayed. Big pickup by the staff. I don't remember a time where we've had as many 5-stars this early in a recruiting cycle, and also out of state and stuff. Well, a mixture of out of state, in-state guys. You've got 2 5-star wide receivers on already recruited to your class,
and that's important because last year you only had 1 wide receiver in your class,
and then you had 3 transfer out. Wide receiver is the biggest need right now because you think LSU wide receiver you think of the talent that we have right now, but it's not really that deep.
Well, next year Boutie's gone, Jere's gone, so that leaves you.
Kyron Lacey might be gone.
Yeah, he could possibly be gone too. So it leaves you with Chris Hilton, Brian Thomas, Besh Neighbors, and Abietta. I mean, they're solid guys, but that's not a deep enough room in the SEC.
I would tell you go ahead, Dylan. My apologies.
I was gonna say, that Shelton Sampson commit was so big for a ton of reasons. Hopefully, getting people to stop talking about the in-state recruiting. Give him a year, man. Give him some time. He has to build relationships with somebody, like some people that just let it smooth in. I never thought it was as big of a deal as it was made out to be, and then now it's starting to show they know what they're doing. They're
interesting.
Give them some time.
Yeah, they might actually be able to flip a guy like Ricky Collins, and they might actually be able to get Zalance Hurd and some of these other guys. So maybe people like Daniel, who were panicking when Derek Williams committed to Texas, should have pumped their brakes a little bit. Interesting.
Yeah, this year's been interesting too because Arch was never coming here. Exactly. Eli Holstein never coming here. Never trust a man from Zachary.
Man.
Zachary was our high school.
Chris Hilton, close your ears, brother.
Time out. Let Colin Jackson commit before you start saying.
Okay, sorry. I went to high school at Central. Zachary, obviously, huge rivals. So it's all fun and games until you're Eli Holstein.
I might need to play the disclaimer for that one, guy.
Did y'all see Woodlawn versus Zachary is gonna be on ESPN next year? That's crazy. That's crazy.
Well, I like that they're playing, but me personally, if you're gonna put a BR game on, you should have did Catholic versus Zachary, in my opinion. But either way, I think that's gonna be a good game.
Yeah. But I wanted to do a quick. I was looking up the comparisons as far as wide receivers, and I got a comp for Sampson. He definitely reminds me of Terrence Marshall.
Yeah, he's just faster.
He's a faster Terrence.
Which is crazy to think.
Yeah,
same number, same everything, bro.
I think he's probably an inch or 2 taller than Terrence, and he's probably a couple pounds lighter. But I think that's a pretty good comp.
I think a lot of people forget just how good Terrence Marshall was before the injury, man. In high school, oh man.
Yeah.
I've heard some good things out of him, out of camp with him there too.
Yep, in Carolina, yeah.
Breakout year.
All right, so we got a big commit in Sampson, but then you had another Baton Rouge guy decide to go to BK's old stomping grounds, Osbury.
Yeah.
How big of a deal do you think it is that not only did he not come to LSU, but he went to Notre Dame of all places?
I think it is about a 1 on the 5-point caution scale. Jaden Osbury did not want to come to LSU. He went to U-High. His dad works for LSU. His dad played for LSU. I know for a fact Jaden Osbury did not want to go here at all. And the Ohio State thing, the Notre Dame thing is Notre Dame hired the Ohio State linebacker coach. Osbury was going to go to Ohio State. Notre Dame hired that coach. Osbury went to Notre Dame.
Hold on, because you just said something right there. So I just want to. Thank you. All right.
Oh my gosh.
Because it's a lot of people have been panicking over that or made a big deal out of it. A lot of
You
people
make a big deal out of that.
a lot of people.
They're saying he's 4 miles away from LSU and
He's been on campus his
whole
whole life.
Well, I agree. As somebody on this show used to pull, the thoughts out of their head and say perception is reality.
Perception can be reality.
No, it can be now, huh? Can be now.
No, perception, but at the same time, you have to look at everything with this kid. Everything that his dad's been through the last couple of years. Everything.
Really?
Wait, hold on. Let me finish.
Go ahead. I'm listening.
Everything he's been on campus his entire life. It's okay. We're fine.
I'll let you go.
Situation.
What's crazy is that sounds like the same thing that a couple of us told you about, I don't know, a month and a half ago.
About what?
About Jay Nosberry.
No, that we were saying that about Eli Holstein. We were saying that about Arch Manning. Some of these guys just weren't coming to LSU, bro.
You know what? I get that. Now, okay? At that, Dilly, you got to understand these guys, right? Whenever I'm wrong, they're gonna let me know, Dilly. Now they can be wrong all day.
A lot.
Come on, man.
Come on. Oh my god! I just think that this is a year where it happened to be a lot of people in the top 10 that just like, I don't want to stay here. I want to go.
Tackett Curtis was another one. Tackett Curtis was not coming to LSU. I mean, it's honestly commendable that BK was able to get him to come visit Baton Rouge after, the rift that he had with the last coaching staff. So I think whenever you look at like Tackett, yeah, we didn't land Tackett, but there was ground made up in that relationship building process. So maybe next year, whenever they have a guy like Tyler Singleton, you might be able to get him because you repaired their relationship.
The only thing you have to worry about, I think, with the like top 10, top 12 recruits is maybe Omarion Miller. Is Mickey going to keep taking people from in-state, wide receiver from in-state? I don't know, but that's the only thing to maybe look at.
Yeah.
And with how recruiting is, LSU's not going to get 10 out of 10 top 10 recruits anymore. Like with how recruiting is, they're just, it's they can't afford it. I mean, I know Gordon McKernan's got deep pockets, but I don't know how deep they can go.
Well, you gotta break out that verified Twitter bank account now, big dog.
The Dilly Sanders Player of the Week.
Hey, I like it. Sounds good, man.
Hey, dilly. Let's switch topics for a minute. Let's leave LSU, go, about an hour away. Let's go to New Orleans. Let's go to the Saints. Tyrann Mathieu was out for a while. People kind of panicked over it. Why? First of all, it's a lot of panic this year anyway. But people panicked a little bit, Man. Oh my God, why is he took down his Saints stuff? And
I think people panicking because both teams got new coaching staffs. You know what I mean?
And both teams haven't been good.
Yeah, that too. But like if Sean was still there, people would be like, "Oh, well, we still got Sean." You know what I mean? But there's a lot of question marks about DA and Pete and how they're going to be able to handle things. So every little thing that happens down there gets blown out of proportion.
Yeah, well, he should have had questions about Sean too. Because the last couple of years, he stunk it up in the playoffs.
All right, that's neither here nor there. Let's not go back. We're going to go forward. So, all right, Tyrann's back, but we lost Chauncey for a few days, but now it looks like Chauncey's back. So, what do you make about the whole hold-in situation? He wants a new extension. Should he get the extension? Should they trade him like some people have mentioned? Like, what do you think on that?
I think that you would have to be kind of silly to not think that this was going to come at some point with who he is and how, he's open on Twitter. Like you can kind of tell who he is, what he wants. He's been wanting to be top paid for a long time. It doesn't really surprise me that much. I don't think you have to trade him yet. If you don't feel like he deserves the money that he wants, Chauncey's a great player. Nickel corners are the easiest cornerback position to fill.
Mm-hmm.
But I think when you're talking about replacing Chauncey, you also not only are you going to use a pretty good football player, but you're going to lose a leader in your locker room. And not only that, he does bring so much attitude and swagger to that defense. And I mean, everyone talked about in the offseason about how they wanted to see Chauncey with Tyrann, with Marcus, with Cam Jordan, just because of the trash talking and the swag that they're going to bring, to the field. So, I'll be hard pressed if they trade him. I don't know, man.
I don't think he's going to get traded. I'm not saying he should be. I'm just saying it's realistic. It's a realistic possibility that they're going to be like, hey, we don't want to pay him the money.
Yeah.
Let's get something for him. It could happen. But like you mentioned, that team's going to be a lot of fun. That team's going to have so much energy, and I'm all about keeping the locker room together as much as possible whenever it's as good as the New Orleans locker room.
I will say the only thing that hurts him is you got, when he did, hold out or whatever, you had Alontae Taylor and Bradley Roby both coming and balling out in camp. So, you do have guys who can replace you. And also, they let Marcus Williams walk, who, if you want to look at where they rank at their position, even though I wasn't the biggest fan of his, he was still top 5 safety. I don't know if Chauncey is necessarily, top 5 of his position. And
but you're not going to have to pay him as much. You're not.
But this the thing. They let Marcus walk over what they thought was, an outrageous asking price. If that's and he was a better player in his position than Chauncey is. So if Chauncey comes in with a quote unquote outrageous asking price, the Saints have showed that they're not going to budge if they feel like it's not worth the money.
And also, you say you're not going to have to pay as much. You shouldn't, but whenever he's in contract negotiations, he's not going to be talking about how he's a nickel cornerback. He's going to be talking about I'm a safety or I'm a cornerback, and it's going to be the whole Jimmy Graham thing again. The Saints aren't going to pay more than they feel like they need to. It doesn't matter who the guy is.
Exactly. The highest paid slot right now is getting like $8 million, I think. Kenny Moore, and the franchise tag for a safety is $12 million. So you look at the difference.
Yeah. Wow. Let's talk about. I just want to touch on this for a minute. The Saints were shopping, looking for a linebacker. They had tryouts. They signed Kiko Alonso, who hadn't played
since before COVID.
And then he retired.
Right.
That man
put on his pads and was like, nope.
He went to one practice. And was like, man, I forgot how hot it was down
here.
Hot
Boston.
Yeah. So I guess the question is, what are your thoughts? So to me, the first thing popped in my mind was selfish. You basically could. It's a lot of. I'm trying to think of the best way to put this.
I can see why you say that though.
When people talk about taking somebody's spot or something like that, that was a spot that somebody could have been in and filled in, and then he came in. And I'm not saying, I don't think he necessarily knew he didn't want to play, but I think he probably, when he got there, I'm pretty sure he had a idea of, saying the fire ain't burning quite as bright as it used to.
I just want to know what the come to Jesus moment was like. He's like, he just didn't want to play. Hey, bro, I almost put in a transfer request to Buffalo, New York. Like it was so hot today, I wanted to leave.
Hey, I'm gonna say the come to Jesus meeting was him and Penning had a one-on-one.
Look, I'll tell you like this. You said selfish. I don't think it's selfish at all. And I don't think honestly, I don't taking somebody's spot. I mean, he only practiced once. You know what I'm saying?
I get the premise. They could have signed someone else instead of signing
they still
him.
Get a chance to sign someone else.
But too, so. I think it was more so of people don't realize how much that it takes to play the game of football at that level.
Right.
And it's one of them things to where if your heart ain't in it, then you might as well go ahead and retire now. Yeah.
I respect it, bro.
I think I honestly respect him too, because he could have did what Olin Kreutz did to us a few years ago and waited till like the third game of the season and was like, hey, y'all, I'm out. You know what I mean? So now we at least have time to find a replacement. I just know they worked out Chase Hansen today, but I don't know if he's the answer. But I would rather him do it now than wait until it put us in a bigger bind.
Hey, do you guys remember?
It could have been halftime. It could have been halftime.
I was thinking that, bro. I was thinking that.
Vontae Davis, yeah.
For the Bills.
I just know how that went.
Did y'all ever see Trey Davis tell that story?
Yeah,
that's so funny.
Trey White, I'm sorry,
Trey White, yeah,
Trey White, yeah.
He said that man was like, "Yeah, I'm good." Oh yeah. They said, "Hey, you come back out."
That was hilarious.
Nah, I think I'm gonna stay here. Y'all go ahead, man.
That's so funny. Like, yeah, I did live in Buffalo for a couple of years, so I was all my friends that were Bills fans were like, "What just happened?" Like, there was so much confusion. That was so funny. And Trey White telling that story is hilarious.
Yes.
So UFC fight was just this past Saturday, but all last week, Trevor Penning was auditioning, getting everybody the hands. Is that becoming a distraction? I mean, is it a point of, you know what I'm saying, hey, you're tough versus, you know what I'm saying?
Bro, every video I've watched, they went after him.
I love it.
He's blocking into the whistle, and you're working, bro. This your job, dog.
Hey, like Mike Tomlin said, I'd rather have to tell a dog whoa than sick him.
Yeah.
The most underrated comment I've seen on this is I saw it was a tweet. It had like 30 likes. I don't know. He must not have much of a Twitter presence. But Sean Merriman put out a good point saying they're gonna love him come week 1. Like, and that's a defensive end saying like they know, like, everyone knew that this is what Trevor Penning was and was gonna be. I was at the Senior Bowl. He did this the entire week. The defense hated him. And then, you know, he was one of the better. He's one of the better players. Like, what's gonna happen. We knew this was coming.
He's one of those guys where you want him. You're glad he's on your team.
Exactly. It's just like Chauncey. It's just like Chauncey. Whenever he's calling Mike Thomas slant boy and getting punched in the face in practice, we got a problem with it. But whenever he's doing it to Javon Mims and getting a 15-yard penalty and getting no boy ejected, we're all for it. You know what I mean? So,
hey guys, we're
like the Tom Brady.
We're gonna be getting Trevor Penning versus Aaron Donald this year. We're going to be getting Trevor Penning versus Trey Hendrickson. I know it'll be, a little bit of a,
I'd love to see that Aaron Donald.
They're going to fight because Aaron Donald's a sneaky asshole. Like, he really is not the nicest person ever.
Did y'all see that video of him choking the teammate?
Yeah. Bro, the drill. I would hate to be that teammate. Don't sign me up for that.
Hold on. No, bro, you talking about he was doing the drill?
Man, he was choking that boy.
He was choking that boy.
Bro, that was
open hand, bro. He was like this around the man's neck.
Nah, that looked uncomfortable.
Then he said dude was a rookie, so he had to pay his dues. That's how I know he was choking. That's how I know he was choking him.
Aaron get a bad.
Let me ask you this, Dan. You gonna let one of your teammates do that to you?
Nope.
Bro, I've practiced on teammates in drills. Teammates that practice on me.
That ain't what he said.
Come on now.
You gonna let Aaron Donald do that to you?
If I was Aaron Donald's teammate and I was a rookie, yes, I would let him do that to me.
Bruh.
So you telling me if Aaron Donald was your teammate and he said, "Hey, look, come over here and help me with this drill." What you gonna say to Aaron Donald? You gonna say no?
First of all, it's
you gonna say no?
It's 100 more people you could choose.
If Aaron Donald comes up to me, he's like, "Hey, I'm gonna choke you," I'm gonna be like, "I'm Kiko Alonso in that. I'm retiring. I'm good. I'm leaving."
First of all, I'm gonna put it like this: if Aaron Donald is help him with a drill, understood. You're not finna be putting your hands around my neck.
No, dog. Yeah, nah. Hey, I'm with you. We gonna. It's 100 more people you can do that to. You ain't doing that to me, dog.
Hey, but if y'all talking about squaring over Aaron Donald, y'all crazy. I just want to say.
I would rather square up with Aaron Donald and at least give myself a chance than just stand there and let that man choke me.
I'm taller than Aaron Donald, so I got it.
Hey, I'll say this. I'll say this. If I'm Aaron Donald's teammate, that means I'm probably the size of Aaron Donald.
Oh, bro.
It ain't about size, bro. Man, you crazy.
I mean, he's always been undersized.
Yeah. You never seen that man pick up two dudes and yeah. Okay.
Well, he gonna have to show me today.
That's football, bro. We ain't.
He
at
gonna
that
have
point,
to show
it
me
wouldn't be.
today.
It wouldn't be football at that point, dog. You know what I mean? It's a little different whenever we throwing these things.
Chris said you can't claim the 318 no more.
I don't think anyway. I claim 337.
Good, because we ain't letting that slide up here.
And Chris also said Aaron would have to square up.
That's not how you spell Aaron, but go ahead. Hey, Ron.
Hey, let me ask you this, Dilly. If you had one pick for comeback player of the year, and your only two options are Jameis or Michael Thomas, who you giving it
to? I think Michael Thomas.
Really?
He's been out longer. If he comes back and fights the slant boy accusations, like if he's good, I don't know. It depends, because if Jameis has a really good season, like best of his year, then Mike has a good season at that point. But if Jameis comes out, puts up a career year, which is not that crazy of a thing to have happen, I think he gets it then, because it's a quarterback driven league. Yeah. But I don't think we should shy away from Michael Thomas, giving Michael Thomas his flowers for coming back and looking like he stepped in a time portal, like a portal from 2019, because he looks crazy.
Does he look faster to you, or is that just me? Like, I saw that video of him when he caught the pass, it's like a cross up and then he just took off up the field with it. He just looks faster to me for some reason. And maybe it's because I hadn't seen him play in a while, but
he was playing on one leg, man. Half a leg.
Yeah, last time we saw him, he was hurt. I don't know. It's not crazy to think. I haven't really thought about it, but maybe he is. Maybe I'll keep an eye out.
Chris makes this comment. He says, with Olave and Jarvis on the team, I don't see him having 150 receptions. He won't need to.
But that's the thing. That's the thing. But that's very true. He probably won't get that many. But the thing is, you ain't gonna be able to double him as much.
That's right.
You know what I mean? So he's gonna get a lot. He's gonna get a lot more one-on-ones.
Guys, oh man, think about it. Good point, Chris. You got Jarvis, you got Olave, you got and then you got our guy in the backfield. Oh, it's gonna be good.
And you got Deontay Hardy to stretch the field. Can't forget about him.
Hey, don't forget Traquan Smith, man.
Traquan.
Who?
Traquan.
I think that man's gonna be forgotten about after roster cuts.
Oh, you really? Because I think Callaway is the one that's gonna be forgotten about after roster cuts.
From what I heard from camp, they both might be getting the boot because they've had. I think you think about the four guys, and you think about who the Saints are. The Saints, like, you got Thomas, Olave, Landry, Hardy. Yeah. That fifth guy is going to go to someone who contributes on special teams. Traquan is not built for special teams, and Callaway, he can punt return, but
you got Deontay for that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think the guy, a dark horse leader to make the roster is Kirk Merritt. I've heard he's been getting a lot of special teams burn in practice.
Well, only reason I said Traquan is because I know how much the blocking at that position matters. Well, at least it did under Sean. So, and I know Traquan, that's one of his, calling cards was always, he wasn't scared to block, and he was a good blocker. So that's the reason why I would put him over Callaway.
They could also
agree with the special teams, though.
They could also keep him and keep 6 receivers. That's not crazy. It's not. They don't normally, but we've been talking about it. We put out Saints Wire. We put out a 53-man roster projection, and we had them only keeping 2 quarterbacks, putting Ian on the practice squad, and then freeing up an extra spot for the roster.
Okay, let me ask you, since 2 quarterbacks and put in on the practice squad, because you would have Taysom as a tight end, and he could be your third quarterback. Your emergency quarterback is no longer Alvin Kamara, so you have Taysom Hill, so you can afford to only keep 2 quarterbacks on roster. Plus, they like to keep they don't. I mean, it's not like Ian would dress out any week ever on the roster. Yeah. If he does, it's a COVID situation like last year.
Mm-hmm. And then he'll be on the practice squad. You can just bump him on up.
All right. Well, look, Dilly. You don't have to commit to us now. We would love to have you back Thursday. You know, what I'm saying to talk a little bit about camp. It won't be this long. It won't necessarily be this long.
I mean, I don't have a problem with it being this long. I'm having fun.
Yeah, that man said he finna check his Palm Pilot.
Yeah, I ain't got nothing to do.
He got to call his agent. He got to check his agent.
No, he actually listen. He did tell me he has to go back to writing those Hallmark cards for the children of the Ronald McDonald House.
Wait, and look, I got one last question for you, Dylan.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So I see you got some odd future stuff back there. You got my boy back there. I can't even think of his name.
Marilyn Manson, Donald
Glover.
Donald Glover. Yeah.
All right.
So go ahead.
Give us your top 5, man. Your top 5 artists right now. Who you listening to?
Right now, like active. All right. So Denzel Curry is one of them. Okay. That's who that is.
Gotcha.
Tyler's one of them. I thought it'd be fun. I thought it'd be funny. I rearranged these a lot. Yeah. I thought it'd be funny to have Denzel, Childish Gambino, Tyler the Creator, and that's Olivia Rodrigo. I just thought
that's
that album bangs. You can't tell me it doesn't. What
they say.
So Denzel and Tyler would be in it. I think who the most talented person right now making music, just from a pure talent perspective, is Jid. That dude never misses. I've never heard him on a beat. I've never heard him on a beat that he did not murder. It could be anything. Still like Kendrick. He still makes music.
I just went to the concert last week.
I'm so jealous.
Let me ask you this, because I know you kind of a Corday guy. So how disappointed were you in on his last album?
Me?
Yeah.
Yeah. It wasn't that good. I was gonna
he came all that way and lost his girl and put out a bad album.
Hey,
they broke up. Him and Naomi broke up?
Yeah.
I was highly.
I didn't know that.
I was highly disappointed in that album, but he said he's about to drop another one, so hopefully he redeems himself.
You actually got a critic. Chris says no more music list for you, Dilly, except for Kendrick. But he likes Young Thug, so he's disqualified.
He's a Young Thug fan, so we don't take his music opinions.
He prays Young Thug every day. It's crazy.
Yeah, he's like Young Thug, Future, Gunna. Like he likes all the Atlanta rappers.
I listen to pretty much everything. Yeah. My Spotify playlist is all over the place because I go like Joji, Kid Cudi, Vampire Weekend, Johnny Cash, Jid, Steve Lacy, Alan Jackson. It goes all over the place. I listen to whatever in the moment. Yeah. Whatever in the moment I like to listen to. Sneaky album of the year. Now, this isn't my favorite album of the year, but Sneaky, really like top 5 is Rosalia's new album. So good. She's a Spanish singer. It's great. It's great.
Okay. Yeah, we'll have to check that out. I like music, even if I don't understand what they're saying. I love it. But yeah.
Mm-hmm. Plus, there's a song. There's a song with The Weeknd on there, and it's one of the just singing and Weeknd singing in Spanish, and it's it's awesome. It's great.
That now.
All right. Well, again, Dilly, truly appreciate it. Well, we'll hit you up and try to schedule something for Thursday. Get you on. So
cool. And by then,
the scrimmage. Oh, by then,
my agent will know. Will give me the thumbs up to talk about where I'm writing.
Exclusive. All right.
Go ahead. And let everybody know where they can follow you and your work and stuff, though, bro.
Yeah, you found me on Twitter at Dilly Sanders, DILLY Sanders. And you can go read my Saints stuff at the Saints Wire and then TBD for LSU stuff. But I think you already follow them.
Okay. I see what you're doing. That's what they call a tease.
Right.
Mm-hmm. I just want to say, I know. I'm not saying that, but I think I got an idea.
In the DMs, I'll tell you if you're right. I've been DMing people all the time, people I trust.
Yeah,
I'm just excited.
Yeah. Right.
Well, we're excited for you, brother.
Truly are. You deserve it. I actually got another question. I'll save it for Thursday. For Thursday.
Well, now I have to come back. So
All right, man. Everybody, that was our man Dilly Sanders. This is going to get updated with his new when it comes out. So thank you, everybody. Thank you, Dilly, for coming on.
Anytime, literally anytime. You can call me day of, 15 minutes before. I don't do anything, so you just let me know.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that was Dilly Sanders. All right, let's get back, fellas. We got a few more things to touch on. All right, let's jump to the NCAA real quick. NCAA football, led by Tommy Tuberville. U.S. senators are looking to create legislation to regulate NIL.
Leave it to Nick Saban to call the former coach for Auburn to get to do a dirty work for him.
Yeah, since he was having trouble, I guess, keeping up in the NIL market, he decided to say, hey, Tommy, I think we can I think we should get together.
You want to know this is kind of funny though? The guy who's co-sponsoring that bill with Tommy Tuberville is a senator from West Virginia.
Yep, Mr. Manchin.
If you go look at who some of the people that Nick Saban has contributed to politically, you will find the name of one senator from West Virginia. So
I do.
Not a coincidence. Not a coincidence that Saban's employees are doing his dirty work for him. All right, what regulation?
I'll tell you like this.
What regulation does it need?
Dang, Jesus Christ! Look, okay, so all right, we about to go ahead. Zoom in on me.
All right, let's go ahead.
All right, let's do it. All right, so this is what it needs, right?
Dang, that's
it needs something. Nah, honestly, you
size
cannot
5X hats coming soon.
Y'all gonna let me finish my point. You cannot have
one size
people like Jimbo. You can't have people like Jimbo running around doing whatever he want to do, paying how much money he want to pay. You can't do that. You got to have some kind of uniform policy. Now I know that you cannot put a rule on capitalism and all that. Not saying you have to do that, but we all know that NIL is not supposed to be pay for play. And guys, that's exactly what it is. It's pay for play. It's pay for play.
All right. Let me say this. First, Jimbo don't pay players because the schools don't pay the players. That's first. Second, you already said it. Capitalism. It's open market. Kids can get what they want.
Right. But the thing is, you're not supposed to pay players to come to your school, and that's exactly
who is necessarily.
Hold on. Who says that you can't pay players to come to that school?
Is that not in the NCAA guidelines?
Okay. So you're going off what the NCAA says.
Yes.
Okay, but state law says different.
Okay, so you're okay with that? You're okay with players being paid to go to different schools through NIL?
Yes.
Okay. Right.
Why should coaches get paid tens of millions of dollars to coach at that school, but a player can't make anything to go to that school?
I'm not saying that players should not get paid. I'm not saying that at all. What I'm saying is
put a cap on it.
Hold on. No, yes.
You can't put a cap on capitalism.
Okay, that's exactly. You can't put a cap on capitalism. What I'm saying is what happened, you have situations where you hand the kid so much money that he can't turn it down, even though he probably doesn't want to go to that school.
Okay,
even though he probably doesn't want to.
Hold on, did we just have this conversation?
Yeah, we did. We had this conversation last time. People go places for rings that they might not want to. Let me ask you this. Are there adults who take jobs that they might not like just because that job is going to pay them more than the other job?
No, you shouldn't.
That's a lie.
You shouldn't.
That's a lie.
I'm be honest.
I didn't ask you. I didn't ask you what. Okay, but I didn't ask. I didn't say you. I didn't say you.
It's a person. It's a
okay,
it's
but
okay.
But what I said is, are there adults who do this? Yes or no?
Yes, and you have adults that don't do it also.
But what's
okay? So it's a choice.
But if
okay,
adults,
we'd have adults that don't play football. We have
adults
that do.
If adults are sitting there and doing some things that aren't the best interest of them because it's going to make them more money, what is the problem with a kid doing the same thing?
And that I get what you're saying. I'm not saying it's wrong, but at the same time, these are kids, bro.
Okay.
Chris, you said it's amateur sports. All right, cool. If it's amateur sports, then don't do TV deals.
What do you mean don't do TV deals?
They make you literally, schools literally make.
They're making tens
of millions of dollars.
One of our next topics is how the Big Ten is saying they want $1 billion for their next TV deal.
Right.
Okay, so if it's all about amateurism, then nobody make any money off of it then.
It's about, I mean, of course, that's not never gonna happen.
Oh, okay, that's the problem. Everybody else can make money off of it, but whenever these kids get a piece of the pie, it's a problem.
You're not. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that there needs to be some kind of rules and regulations.
How do you regulate it? That's
bro,
what
I'm not getting paid. I'm not getting paid to make those decisions. That's not my specialty. I'm saying that they need to have rules and regulations to it.
Okay, so all right. There's always unintended consequences.
Right.
If you start limiting how much money a player can make off of NIL, where does it stop? Because then you can start making, hey, you can only go to certain conferences, or hey, you can only play certain, you know what I'm saying? What I mean, it's like, where does it stop?
What do you mean?
Because the whole point of NIL, right, was because you had literally everybody from the top down making money off players. I could literally take a picture of a player, put it on something, and sell it.
Right.
And the player not get a dime.
Player get nothing from it.
Right.
NIL.
That's wrong.
Okay, it's wrong, but it was legally it wasn't wrong.
Right.
But now a player can make money. They can now. I'll give you this: the way NIL is being used is different from what the spirit of the bill was first introduced. I completely agree with that. But at the same time, what I keep saying, and I've said it over and over, players getting paid is not new.
No, it's not new.
So
how is it ruining football then?
Why is this always
saying it's ruining football?
Why all of a sudden now is it that, you know, say, oh, we need to limit how much we give them? Why? My argument was never that you should limit how much you should give them. My argument was always that you should have some kind of rules and regulations. You literally said there should be a cap. You literally said there should be a cap.
No, I never said that. I said
you changed it, but you said it.
I didn't mean to say that. I'm not saying that it should be a cap. Come on, guys. I like making money. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna go. Come on, man. If my son ever is a Division I athlete and somebody wants to come,
he ain't got to be Division I.
Whatever it is. If somebody want to come pay him $1 million NIL deal, son, take that deal 1,000%.
So what's the problem?
So what's the problem then?
My thing is, kids are going to get taken advantage of.
It's happening now.
I understand.
All right,
that's what I'm saying. That's why you should have rules and regulations.
You're right. Hold on.
No,
because this is going to tie into the next thing, the next topic. You're absolutely right. People are taking advantage of them, but guess who's taking advantage of them? It ain't necessarily that. It ain't. Thank you. So let me move to the next topic real quick. 5 senators have introduced a bill to give college players a quote unquote Bill of Rights. It's been spearheaded by Cory Booker from New York, Richard Blumenthal from Connecticut, and 3 other Democratic senators. The bill with is kind of it's a change in the
it lets them transfer immediately without penalty as many times as they want. and some other things that they're saying that it was illegal to have, that they're not allowed to do now that they feel like they should be able to do.
It also gives them, it allows them to basically unionize to get health care after school, after they leave school. It literally is giving them almost like NFL type rights, or union like type rights. So you talking about taking advantage of stuff, or them taking advantage? That's the bill I think that needs to be pushed, not this regulating of NIL.
I don't like that bill. The reason why I don't like that bill, because of course this bill will affect LSU. Because, of course, now what's happening is LSU now has a chance to help their players when it comes to NIL deals. This bill, if it is passed, schools cannot participate in NIL deals at all. What's wrong with that?
I'm so confused, dog. You said you want regulation. There's a bill introducing regulation, and you don't want it because it negatively affects LSU.
I do. Okay, I do want regulations, but at the same time, they still need some things in that bill that need to be better. Like, they still need to make that bill better. I'm not saying hold on, Pooh. Mm-hmm.
Any regulation that they do to NIL is going to take away that advantage that you just said LSU has about being able to facilitate NIL deals and stuff for their players. Any deal, any regulation that the federal government does is going to get rid of that. So you're saying, how is it not true?
You said anything they come out with?
Yes, because anything that they're going to come out with is going to supersede state law. And so whatever that they come out with is going to say that schools cannot facilitate NIL deals because that's how the NCAA wants it.
So let me ask you. So if they take that out, that schools are prohibited, if they take that one part out, will it not be a better bill?
Yeah,
to
but
who?
because
hold on.
For my school, for my team, I cheer for it.
I understand that. So you're saying it's a better deal, but the people who are making that deal aren't going to think that that's the better deal, because that's why they put it in the bill to begin with.
Of course, and that's why bills go up so they can get changed.
All right, bro.
All right. The Big Ten is looking.
Basically, you want regulation, but you still want LSU to be able to benefit and have the leg up.
Of course.
Then why are you asking for regulation if right now LSU has a leg up?
Because they still need regulations.
Based on what? LSU has a leg up. Why you want to regulate? Why you want to change?
Understood. Let's move on to the next topic.
All right. The Big Ten is looking for $1 billion TV deal.
That part, what Ryan said. First off, the Fed should not be involved in the regulation of sports. That part.
Hey, how much you paying Ryan? Hey, Ryan is an fanboy.
None. I'm not, because ridiculous. our government got a million more things
we ain't
to be
gonna
worried
talk
about.
Politics. We ain't gonna talk about politics.
We've been talking about politics for the last 20 minutes.
Our
government got a lot more things to worry about than regulating NIL.
I say this. People always say the whole, shut up and drill with the whole, saying keep politics out of sports. It's literally Nick Saban is pleading to the government because think about this. He literally threw a tantrum.
Yeah.
He threw a major tantrum, called out Texas A&M, Jackson State, and Miami. Now he's partnering with, or trying to partner with, or however you want to describe it, with Tommy Tuberville in politics to create law, because Ant said it. Nick, when the spread offense, Nick came out and said something about it, but he can do something about that. Having that 1 second added back so you can kick a field goal. So when Auburn
transfer portal,
he said something about that transfer portal. He can't do anything about NIL. Now he's going to the politics to do something about it.
He can't, and he's doing something about it.
He's manipulating the system to do something about it.
Nick Saban is playing chess. He's always playing chess.
He's crying is what he's doing.
He cried about the no huddle, and guess what happened? Things got changed.
He did it on his own. He did something about it on his own. This time he's having to call some people and be like, "Hey, I can't do nothing about this, so I need you to do it for me."
Still getting it done.
How you know? Ain't nothing passed.
It will be.
Ain't nothing even been drafted.
All right, you know what? That gets passed. LSU can no longer facilitate NIL deals. You gonna be back up here crying.
That part.
And so protecting the kids and paying them is so hard to do at the same time. NCAA has always been predatory. At least they're getting a bag now. Thank you. And then again, the Bill of Rights. I say this, at least the Bill of Rights gives them medical care after school and stuff. It gives them a way to quote unquote unionize, because they were also talking about revenue sharing. Hey, that $50 million, because you say, hey, make it even or whatever, make it regulated or whatever, $50 million or whatever the schools, saying in TV. Now they can get a part of that.
And let me say, I'm not against the players unionizing and that thing. I'm not against that. I think that's an awesome thing. But also, I want to see. Okay, so how long is this healthcare is? Is it gonna be 5 years after they play? It's gonna be 10 years. It's gonna be 20. It's gonna be lifetime. You know what I'm saying? How long is that? I just want to know those things. I'm not saying it's a bad thing.
Anything is better than what they get now, though.
Yeah, because they're not getting anything.
Even if they give them 3 years, it's better than what they got now.
Yeah.
All right. ESPN announces that Peyton Manning and Pat McAfee will be calling college games.
Who?
Peyton Manning and Pat McAfee.
Okay, good.
I watched for Pat McAfee, but Peyton Manning boring.
I don't want to listen to that.
Pat McAfee good. I like
Pat
him.
McAfee entertaining, but Peyton Manning is boring. Eli, when they did the little Peyton cast on Monday Night Football, Eli was the one who was entertaining. Peyton is just, I don't know. It's like watching paint dry.
We got. I'm gonna skip this next topic, but I'm gonna jump to this. This week we saw, or last week or whatever, we saw TJ Finley. A mugshot pop up about him with TJ Finley saying that he was eluding police. Eluding police. And when you hear that, the first thing you're thinking, dang, what is he doing and why is he running from the police?
Right.
Later came out, his mom is posted. They have posted, they have a lawyer. I think the lawyers made comment. He had a misdemeanor traffic violation for riding without riding a moped without a helmet. I don't know how bench warming or whatever. I legally, I'm not sure.
The way,
go
ahead. From the way I read it, they tried to pull him over while he was on the moped for riding without a helmet, and they never was able to pull him over. And so they were able to identify him as the driver of the moped, and so they issued a warrant for his arrest.
Yeah, he was never
ticketed or cited or however you want to say.
Is this was campus police or was this like
yes.
Oh my gosh, come on, man.
Yeah. And he basically he turned himself in. But I think the biggest problem I have with this, because this is gonna tie into I'm gonna say because it's gonna tie into my altar call. But the way they handled this is troubling to me. They could have easily reached out to his coach and got him in. Hey, this is what's going on. He needs to cut it out or whatever. But yeah, this is that. It's true. The language they use.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, if you've been on a college campus, you know they have security guards. If you've been anywhere, you know they have security guards, running cops who take their job a little bit too serious. I mean, this is a situation that's, like you said, I mean, of course, the headlines and everything is very inappropriate, not necessary at all. But, I mean, starting from, come on, man, you putting a warrant out for this guy's arrest on campus? Like, that's upset. Yeah, that's upset. Go talk to his coach, dog.
It's almost like they wanted to embarrass the kid. You know what I mean? Like,
come on, man. Go talk to his coach, bro. Y'all tripping.
Yeah.
I don't like the way Auburn handled that as the police department. I don't like the way the football program handled that. You know what I mean? Like, that's just
My guy had a mug shot, right?
Yeah. It's
on,
just it's a terrible look all the way around, man.
Yeah.
If that's all it was, you could have brought the dude in, let him pay his ticket, and then take him out. You know what I mean? Gone about his business, bro.
Yeah. I'm gonna move on to something else. Our mental health segment. I want to talk about this. This week, cornerback for the Denver Broncos, KJ Hamler,
wide receiver.
I'm sorry, wide receiver. I don't know why I thought cornerback. He opened up about his battles with depression and suicidal thoughts. Basically, he mentioned that he lost his grandmother, who's pretty much like his everything, and he felt lost and thought about ending his life. But I think he prayed on it, worked through it, talked to people, and was able to get through it. I think the biggest thing here is his transparency about it. His willingness to come out and tell his story. Did y'all see the clip and stuff? And what are y'all thoughts?
Yeah, I saw it, bro.
Go ahead.
I saw it, bro, and I'm trying to think how I want to put this. It's tough, bro, because like we talked about, a lot of people done been there before. Not too many people open up about it. Mm-hmm. And when you see a guy in the NFL, you think, man, that guy got everything in the world. You know what I mean? And so it's hard to imagine somebody that we think got everything could be feeling like that. But it just goes to show that you never know who's affected by it. You never know who's battling with what. So just try to be mindful of that it could affect anybody. It can happen to anybody. So yeah, even though the outside might be looking good, you never know what's going on the inside.
Nah, yeah, that's real. That's real, man. Every day people put on masks and wear masks, and if you ask people all the time, "Hey, how you doing? How you feeling?" "I'm good," but really deep down they're not. You know what I'm saying? You don't know what demons those people are fighting, what they're going through at home. You know what I'm saying? So just like you said, and just be mindful of it, because you never know, what somebody's going through.
Yeah. All right. I got a question for y'all. So we've seen injuries and stuff, and we talked about it. One thing I want to ask y'all: what's a athlete that had their a promising career cut short?
It's a lot of them, dog. Are we sticking to football? Let me ask you that.
No, we ain't gotta stick to football because mine ain't even football.
That's gonna make it a lot harder. All right.
I got 5. Y'all want me to go first?
Go ahead.
Dang, go ahead.
All right, so my first one, Sean Taylor. Sean Taylor, I think honestly probably would have been Hall of Fame, one of the best. When you say cut short, right?
Yeah.
Cut short.
Okay.
Cut short. Yeah.
I had thought like Sean Taylor. Okay.
I mean, technically, he was injured whenever he had just had surgery, and he was at home recovering whenever that happened. So.
Right. But I'm saying cut short. I ain't always talking about injuries, but cut short. But yeah, Sean Taylor, I think he probably would have been one of the best safeties to probably ever play the game. Number 2, I got Bo Jackson. We know what kind of athlete Bo Jackson was, and people will probably be surprised. Bo Jackson's not even in the Hall of Fame. All the pub and everything he gets.
Yeah.
Huh?
He probably should.
No, he's not. No, he's not in the Hall of Fame. He shouldn't be. But if it wasn't for his hip injury,
agreed.
He probably would have been in the Hall of Fame.
Ain't no problem. He would be. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, he definitely would have.
I would say, and this is one, I don't know if you guys remember this, 2010, 2011 NCAA football season for Marcus Lattimore. Marcus Lattimore for South Carolina was probably one of the best running backs I got a chance to watch in real time, in real person. And then my last one is James Earl, a.k.a. Boobie Miles. I just wanted to throw that.
Right here.
Hey, Boobie Miles is my boy, all right? Everybody know Boobie Miles could catch. He could throw it to himself. He could kick. If he would have never got injured, he should have gave the dude his helmet. He would have been a beast.
Hey, I do want to throw this in there. Our producer put this in there. If you are a loved one or are considering suicide, call or text the suicide hotline at 988 to talk to a trained counselor.
Facts. Hey, shout out to my little bro in the comments, man. Terrell Davis, Sterling Sharp, Brandon Roy, Greg Oden. I like that.
Okay. Can you and your brother stop? Because y'all taking some of mine. Thank you.
Oh, bro.
Jeez,
Yeah.
man. Oh, them Williams want to take over the show. Holy.
Hey. Yeah.
All right. And you got one or
I got a few.
Okay.
I ain't really do no homework like Daniel, so this is just off the top of my head. So I had Marcus Lattimore though. That was probably the main one I was thinking about. But all right, Jay Williams, basketball, motorcycle wreck. I'm gonna go Yao Ming. He had
he's
a
good.
lot of injuries. If he I think a lot of people don't realize how good he was before the injury. LSU guy, Chad Jones.
Yeah.
If it wasn't for
Who?
Chad Jones.
Chad Jones. He had a career.
Oh, yeah.
He was a dual sport.
And then I'm gonna throw in this guy who Daniel, you really ain't a fan because you didn't put him on your list. But Glenn Dorsey.
Yeah,
his career was So Glenn Dorsey, don't autograph his jersey because he didn't even put
Come
you
on, dog.
He didn't even put you on the list.
Come on, dog.
And then you said career cut short. So Len Bias.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Oh, that's probably the ultimate.
Career never even started.
I got one. You just made me think since we going back.
You going Benji?
Well, Benji is a good one. Hank, was it Hank Gallis?
Oh yeah. Died, had a heart attack. Yeah.
Brandon Roy was one of mine.
That's a good one.
Grant Hill.
That's a good one.
You
can do a whole Orlando Magic team. Pretty much.
I was gonna say T-Mac. T-Mac still had the what's called, but he was never the same. I'm trying to think.
Freaking Derrick Rose.
Derrick Rose. But then he still had a career. He just wasn't the same. But his career wasn't cut short. It's just not because he's still playing. It just wasn't the same, man. But
big facts, Dilly. Big facts. Shout out to Devon Gale from Southern who got injured against Georgia, and shout out to Georgia for helping him with his recovery and all that kind of stuff. They really did good by him. So
speaking of that, Darryl Stingley, the grandfather of Derek Stingley Jr. So
that's a good question. I'm gonna have to think about that one. We're gonna have to do that one again.
Don't forget Jerome Brown. He played with Reggie White. He was one of the Miami boys, man. He was called. Well, yeah, it was before our time, but he was a beast.
Okay. Hey, I don't know that one. That's a.
Hey, are we gonna consider Maurice Claret?
He did that to himself though.
But his career was cut short.
It was cut short.
I guess you can say that.
Lawrence Phillips, you know what I mean? Like it's a bunch of them type of guys.
Yeah. You're absolutely right. So let me jump to this one, and because this is gonna lead to our next question. So we did for the Pulse of the People poll of the week. What is considered a successful 2022 season for LSU in your opinion? The winner was 8+, which is actually I was actually surprised. It was a lot of people. I was expecting something totally different, but 72% of you said that 8+ wins would be a successful season. 21% said 10+ wins, and 7% said a bowl win. So I'll come back and I'll ask you guys the question. LSU season will be a success if
you get to 8 wins.
Yeah, I would say that also. 8 wins, good bowl game, win.
I'm not gonna say a bowl win because if you go 9-3 and you probably won't get a New Year's 6, But if you get one of them that's right under New Year's 6, and you got a pretty tough opponent, I'm not gonna say you got to win your bowl game, but you got to at least win 8 games and go to one of them top bowl games.
Yeah.
For me, it's not even a number of wins. I think this season will be a success if we see that physical football return. Yeah. And if LSU is competitive in every game.
Hey, it'll be successful if we can get a play in with less with more than 15 seconds on the play clock. You know what I mean? Like, that'll be a success to me.
Yeah. Right. So all right.
You got Dilly saying he considers 7-5 a success. Tyler says 8 wins. So we all kind of about on the same page.
Yeah. I actually was. I was happy to see because I was expecting somebody to come in and say something crazy like, we'll only be a success if we, you know what I'm saying, beat Alabama and get 10 wins, and we didn't have, you know what I'm saying. So I you know what I'm saying.
We got some logical people following us, dog.
Shout out to our people. I'm gonna say that it's another question on here. I'm gonna say that because I think we need to get closer to the season to actually know, because it is some it might be some coaches. Never mind.
I got you. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
All right. I guess it's that time, fellas. Where we at? All right. Who want to go first?
Daniel got to go first because ours too serious.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, that's definitely.
I mean, mine is kind of serious, but it ain't serious as y'all's.
All right.
But yeah, I got you. All right. So the Cleveland Brown organization, please come to the pulpit, to the altar. So, of course, we know right now the Cleveland Brown organization and Deshaun Watson, they're going through a lot of things right now. Deshaun Watson is we found out that he's a very kinky guy. So right now in Cleveland, they're gonna hold a massage therapist convention in Cleveland. So I just actually want to call the city of Cleveland and decide. I mean, it's just I don't even know what to say about this, guys. I mean, I don't think I should laugh at this. I don't think that, but part of me in my dark side of human does want to laugh at this because I don't know what Deshaun Watson is going to do with himself with all those therapists coming to his city. I Deshaun Watson, stay your kinky butt inside the house. All right, don't go out. Don't try to. Yeah, okay, go on, please, before I say something and get us canceled. But yeah, that's my article.
This dude said he's a kinky guy. Like
I'm not defending anyone, but I do think that changing the location of a convention like that seems to be like a logistic nightmare. So I'm gonna just give them the benefit of the doubt and say that it was too late in the game for them to change something.
But and it was set up in 2019, so I give them a pass. But still.
But I will say that the Cleveland Browns need to make sure that they got a
they got a tracking bracelet.
That man need an alibi at all times. And a chaperone.
He need a police escort outside his house to make sure he ain't leaving.
Facts.
But anyway, you want to go? Or you want me to go? I'll go.
You go ahead. Yeah.
All right. So this is kind of fairly recent, but Cale Gundy, come on down to the front, big dog. If y'all haven't noticed or haven't heard, receiver coach Cale Gundy from Oklahoma Sooners resigned from his position as receivers coach due to something that should never happen. They had a film session, study session, something along those lines, and he picked up an iPad from one of his players who he said wasn't paying attention and decided to read his notes that the player was writing on his iPad. And it doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure out what he said, but he said something that was insensitive to everybody else in the room. And according to Brent Venables, the coach of the Oklahoma Sooners, he said it multiple times, and that is what led to his resignation. I don't know how you are reading something out loud and don't realize what word you're about to say. And even if you said it once mistakenly, I don't realize how you repeat what you say multiple times without realizing what you say. We all know what place the world is in right now. There's no place for stuff like that, and especially as a head coach who's responsible for leading young men. I want to commend Brent Venables for his statement coming out and condemning Gundy for saying what he's saying and basically saying that there was no other option but for him to resign. And to all the Oklahoma people who are saying he isn't this, he isn't that because he hasn't shown that in his past. I understand that you wanting to highlight the good in someone, but you can't dismiss when people do stuff like this and just say he's not that type of guy. I hope that he does land on his feet again because I do believe in second chances, but I hope he realizes that in this day and age, you had to be careful with what you say. You had to be thoughtful of the people's feelings who are in the room with you. And at the end of the day, man, there's just no place for that word to be said, especially from a guy in an authority figure like that. So, Kel Gundy do better, but shout out Brent Venables for the way he handled that.
All right. Jake Crane, come holler at me. Last week, we talked about Kyler Murray's contract and how it had the homework clause in there. Hall of Famer and renowned top quarterback Warren Moon came out and said that the clause was a slap in the face of African Americans everywhere. Jake Crane came out and said that basically Warren Moon is overreacting, and I'm paraphrasing. I don't want you guys to think that I'm exact. These are exact quotes. He's basically said that Warren Moon's overreacting and that it's not racist. It had nothing to do with race. And using the word, saying the word racist is watering it down. But let me go ahead and get to my point. On the surface, adding the homework clause isn't racist. I'd want to protect my investment as well, but it is insulting and insinuates that Kyler himself is lazy, especially considering this is the first time a clause of that kind has been added to any quarterback's contract. From Warren Moon's perspective, though, it's a very sore subject. After a successful college career, he had to go to the CFL, Canadian Football League, after being told he'd only be a late round pick if he was drafted. So he jumped the gun and went to the CFL first just to prove himself. He then came to the NFL where he retired the all-time leader in several stats and top 5 in passing yards, touchdowns, attempts, and completions. But what exactly did Warren Moon say? He said, "It is something we were always accused of back in the day when they didn't let us play." He said and by the way, he is the only black quarterback inducted into the Hall of Fame. Didn't know that, but that is interesting as well. He said that they said that we were lazy and didn't study and that we couldn't be leaders, that we weren't smart. So all those different things just kind of came to the surface after we had to put all that stuff to bed over the years. And just because of this deal that's going on between Arizona and Kyler. So yeah, very embarrassing. That is a direct quote from Warren Moon. Then he goes on to say, the damage has been done. He'll have this riding over him every time he says he does something wrong in a football game. They're going to say, see, that's the reason why that happened, because he didn't study enough film last week or whatever it might be. So yeah, it's a very unfortunate situation for him and very embarrassing for both sides. Jake Crane said that the term racist is overused. I agree with him on that, but Warren Moon never said racist. I just read a direct quote. He never said the word racist. Jake then says that the NFL is always called racist, but 3/4 of the players are black. Interesting. But only 3 of the 32 head coaches are black, and one of those guys claims to be multiracial, not black. 7 of the GMs and 0 of the team owners are black. Just last year, the NFL pledged to halt the use of race norming, which is assuming that black players started out at a lower cognitive function. Yes, these guys make millions, because Jake Crane then came back and said they're making millions. Why are they complaining? I'll say this. They make millions, but that doesn't change the fact that the policies and discriminatory practices are unjust. Money may make you comfortable enough to accept racist practices, but it ain't gonna fly with me. And to quote you, Jay Crane, that ain't it. That ain't it. So, yeah, I think
my thing is the NFL ain't racist because 3/4 of the players are black. You mean the same league that had to incentivize teams to hire minority executives by offering them another draft pick? Like, come on, man.
You know what? That
If the NFL wasn't racist, then why does the Rooney Rule exist?
That whole "my best friend is black" thing, it's got to stop, because that's all that is. That's and I'm not saying the NFL as a whole, as an organization is quote unquote, saying each individual team is racist.
No,
that's not what we're saying.
Mm-hmm.
But we're just saying that, some of the stuff that these practices literally had to come in last year and say that because of CTE, they were basically labeling black people or
slower cognitive
cognitive function, so they wouldn't get paid or as much or whatever. Come on, man.
Not to. All right, I'm gonna say this. I agree. Everyone in the NFL isn't racist, and I don't believe the NFL as an organization itself is racist. But I do believe that there are racist practices that are going on inside of that organization, and it's trickling down into each individual franchise. And so I think that there is a good old boy network that is involved with that organization. I'm not saying that everybody is a part of that, but there are a large number of people within the NFL who are part of that good old boy network. That's why we see people like Louis Riddick, who is very deserving of an NFL executive position, not have one. You know what I mean? Stuff like that.
Yeah. And our producer, Colin Kaepernick, would like a word, who again came out and said, "Hey, I'm being blackballed because I'm speaking up for social justice for black people." And everybody say, "Ain't nobody blackballing you. It's a lie, whatever."
Mm-hmm.
But they settled because they didn't want the stuff to get out. Then you have
not just that, but whenever he was kneeling, they made his kneeling be about everything but what it was actually about.
Yeah. Then you had
Brian
Flores.
And what's crazy is the NFL admitted that the Miami Dolphins were tampering and trying to do stuff behind the scenes, and that there was multiple people who heard the owner say, "Hey, our position in the draft is more important than how many games we win," but yet the NFL said he was just joking whenever he offered Brian Flores money for losing. Imagine that.
Yeah. King of South Carolina says exactly. Bill Rose of New York Times wrote a book called $40 Million Slaves, meaning that, yes, players make money, but the owners have wealth and control policy. Bill Roden. Yeah, I know he's my bad. But anyway, I could go on for hours.
And I'll say this though, we not trying to make everything race related. Like that ain't the point of this show. But we would be doing y'all an injustice or a disservice if we didn't call out stuff like this when we saw it, and not give our opinion on it.
And let me say this. Jake Crane, I understood what he was saying, what he was trying to say, but it went. I think some of the stuff he was saying, his justification for it was it's problematic, very problematic. When you can justify, or you can say certain things aren't racist, or they aren't racist because they have, certain people aren't, and now that I can get, it'll get political, but like we just said, politics and sports are intertwined. Politics and life are intertwined.
I'll say this: I do not believe. I agree with him that adding that clause to the contract in itself was not racist. I agree with that. However, the thought process of why they thought they needed that in that contract is rooted in the same stereotypical thought process that kept guys like Warren Moon from getting a fair shake back in the day.
Let me ask you guys a question.
That's what I've been saying. That thought process is the same thought process from 50 years ago.
Let me ask you a question.
Go ahead, man.
Can we look at it and say, well, just pertaining to Kyler Murray, does he really take it serious from their point of view?
That's a fair question. But is he the only quarterback that you could ask that about?
But they're only dealing with Kyler Murray. They're dealing with his contract.
That's 100% fair. That's 100% fair. But that's not what Warren Moon said.
Yeah. Now, what Warren Moon said is, I agree with him 100%. There's always been that perception.
The whole thing was, all right, whenever I originally retweeted this thing, I was saying that the mindset behind that is the problem. It's not what they put in the contract. It's the mindset behind that that's the problem. Because there's been plenty of other quarterbacks who've had that same issue. but nobody has ever said, "Oh, well, that's the reason why." Like you got other quarterbacks who openly came out and said they don't watch film like that, they don't prepare like that, they just go out and they just let their ability speak. Well, that's what Kyler was doing, but why is it a problem when he does it, but it's not a problem when they do it? Why is it that Lamar Jackson, why is it that Lamar Jackson is still having to come out and defend himself and say that he is really a quarterback when the man has already won MVP? He's already won an MVP in this league and shown that he can be a quarterback. Why are some of those other quarterbacks don't have the same questions? Lamar Jackson is 1-3 in the playoffs since he's came in. That's very fair. But Aaron Rodgers in that same time is 2-3 as a quarterback. How many people are questioning Aaron Rodgers as a quarterback? So the thing that I'm saying is the same thing that Patrick Mahomes was saying. It's funny how certain quarterbacks have to constantly prove themselves over and over and over and over again when other quarterbacks haven't even won a playoff game yet or even made the playoffs yet, and people are ranking them as the top 5 quarterback in the league. But you have a Super Bowl MVP, I mean not a Super Bowl MVP, a regular season MVP in Lamar Jackson, and you have people coming out to say he can win 12 MVPs, he still wouldn't be a quarterback in this league. That is what problem I'm talking about. It's a double standard that applies to black quarterbacks, and it's been happening for 50 plus years.
Yep. All right. Well, I don't think nothing else needs to be said. We'll be back. Oh, the producer, Brett Favre, didn't know what a pickle package was.
Facts. And guess what? They labeled him a gunslinger. They didn't say that he didn't prepare.
Yeah. Oh, he Jay Crane did. He also mentioned that when people call Patrick Mahomes a street ball player, that's not racist and stuff like that. Certain languages is coded, dog whistle, but
we're gonna end it here.
We'll end it there. Fellas,
Thursday, fellas.
See y'all Thursday. And I don't know. I mean, don't forget to like, follow, and subscribe on Twitter at Golden Boot. On Instagram at Golden Boot. On YouTube at The Golden Boot Pod. On Facebook at The Golden Boot Pod.